Hi guys, it's Antonia again from Voodoo Molly Vintage. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how I achieve the coloured Dotty wall that I've got behind me. I get a lot of customers and students that pop on in, and this is the first thing they see and it's always the first question they ask me. So I'm going to show you how really easy it is to achieve with vintage paint. So for this project you're going to head on down to the local stationery store and you're going to grab some self-adhesive labels. Now you'll have to be careful which ones you buy, because what you're after, I'm not sure if you can see that there, but you want the single sheets here that are not cut into little individual labels. So it's just one big huge A4 sheet of label. That's as opposed to say this number 33, which has got 33 little individual labels. So grab a pack of these. You're going to be taping this onto a board, and this will keep it in place while you're painting. You don't have to use any fancy masking tape, just any sellotape will do. Now the good thing about vintage paint is that you don't need any undercoat with that paint, so you'll be able to put this straight over these glossy labels and it will stick really well. So for this project I'm going to use a mini pot of vintage paint, and this one is Paris Grey, and I'll be using a 50mm synthetic brush, and I'm using a really big brush like this so that I can get a really good smooth even surface on my label. So I'll be using my brush in the same direction, so I'm going to go from top to bottom, and I'm going to do that over the entire sheet. It looks better with a nice even grain than it would be, say, if you cross-hatched it. Now generally you'll only need to use one coat of vintage paint for this particular project. It covers really well on these labels. If you are going to do a double coat, you may want to make sure that it's dry really well before you do the cutting out step. I'm just going to give it a quick blast with the hairdryer. Okay, that's nice and dry now. So I'm just going to peel it off the board. And while you're in the stationery store, you want to go and find yourself some circle hole punches. I've got a small one here, which is this size, and I've got a medium, and I've also got one of these big suckers. In New Zealand dollars, these are about $40, $45, so these are quite expensive to get these large ones, but these smaller ones are quite affordable. So I'm going to use this medium one, and all we're going to do is punch out the label, and to peel it off you'll need to bend over one of those areas and use your fingernail to grab it. Now vintage paint is quite flexible, and I have no nails, so this is really hard for me to do. Someone with a lot of nails will be able to do this a bit better. Even better still, I will give you one of these ones. These ones here that I'm just cutting out now is one of these big A2 sheets, and they have little slits along the back, which makes peeling them off a little bit easier. So if you haven't got nails, try to get those ones. So I'm just now going to put the grain of the paintbrush from up to down, and all of the dots behind me are in that direction, and it looks really nice that way. And you literally just stick it on the wall, press it down, Bob's your uncle. That's the start of a big wall, and at last count I think we had about 400 of those dots on this wall. So don't expect you to go to that extreme, but with vintage paint it will certainly make life a lot easier for you. So head on down to our website, vintagepaint.co.nz, take a look at our paint, go and visit one of our stockists to see it in person. You're away laughing with your paint projects now, so thanks for joining me.